What is up? My name is Douglas Nyback. This is DNA. I am gonna talk about the movie Strange Darling because it was a really, really good movie and the performances were captivating, and I want to. This is a new YouTube channel and apparently we do reviews now, so without further ado, let's get into it. Strange Darling is written and directed by J.T. Molnar. It stars Willa Fitzgerald as the lady and Kyle Gallner as the demon, and along with a phenomenal supporting cast, it is also the cinematography debut of Giovanni Ribisi, which we love. Love that for Giovanni Ribisi, mostly because his work was really good. If it was bad, I probably wouldn't be talking about it. I'm going to start with talking about the performance because this is an acting channel and theoretically that's the most unique view that I can bring to it, and also probably why you're here. And then I'm going to talk about the story to a degree, and then I'm going to say whether or not you should go see it. You should go see it. I liked the movie. So anyway, Willa Fitzgerald is an unbelievable actor. I was a big fan of her in Reacher. I've seen her in things as she's come up a little bit, and this movie was an absolute revelation. And I'm going to be very specific as to why, so that when you watch it, you can keep your eyes out for this. I'm not going to give away the plot, but it's very unclear through the course of this movie who the bad guy is. It's about a killer, and it's about a cat and mouse hunt, essentially, for that killer. And the whole thing, from a casting perspective, balances on this razor's edge of do we or do we not know who the protagonist and antagonist are? And Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner do an unbelievable job in constantly keeping us guessing as to what their motivations are and what, if anything, that they're feeling is actually genuine and real, which is important because the entire plot is structured on that. And the movie itself is told non-linearly, which means that the performances have to remain ambiguous and yet incredibly specific through the entirety of the plot, almost, which is genius and incredibly hard to do. Willa Fitzgerald, if she ever sees this, her ability to experience complex, genuine, deeply felt emotion in trauma, in violence, in anger, in the softer emotions of grief, in exhaustion, in loss, in innocence, all while making me simultaneously, and I was looking for the flaws, make me believe that all of these things are authentically felt, and yet every single one of them could be false. At the same time, it's mind-blowing stuff. And you will learn things about acting by watching her. I've been doing this for a long time as an actor, as a coach, as a writer, as a producer, and I watched her work in this movie and I was like, holy shit, she taught me some things. Kyle Gallner, very similar, very different, rooted much more in the world of aggression, in danger, in the masculine-feminine dynamic of a serial killer movie. The person who is most likely to be physically empowered in that situation objectively has to do less work as an actor to appear dangerous and unpredictable, and he did an unbelievably admirable job. Also was a character who, as the plot reveals itself, some of the choices he makes deal with complex emotional and addictive issues, all sorts of stuff. He's making big choices that seem small, that lead to the plot being able to advance, that later on we learn, oh my God, what was going on with this guy internally was unbelievably rich and deep as he made these choices. It wasn't just a simple thing for him. And he rode that line so well. Those two performances anchor the movie, and there are beautifully lit, long stretches of dialogue that don't involve violence. In many cases are actually quite charming. It's a beautifully written script that hugely unnerves you while causing you to care about both of these people, both of whom could be genuinely terrible, not even just terrible, but evil. It's directed and presented in a way that, again, I said this already, but tells the story in a non-linear fashion. It made me think of Pulp Fiction, because everything makes me think of Pulp Fiction if it's told in a non-linear way, because Tarantino has done it better than anybody, and this is a pretty close, like, it's really, really, really good. The non-linear nature of the storytelling keeps you guessing long past the point of when you should have figured it out. And even once I had it figured out, I was like, am I right? I don't know that I'm right. And that's all I can really do. The whole relationship that I have with the people who are creating things is to take me from here, okay, to holy shit, what is going on? And the entire movie had me doing that, even after I thought I had it figured out. The cinematography is really incredible. Giovanni Ribisi, you gotta hand it to a guy who's been in front of the camera his entire life, continues to be in front of the camera, is a genuinely phenomenal talent, and decided to very low-key be like, all right, I'm just gonna film this one. I'm gonna become an expert in a side of the storytelling of this industry that is completely removed from how I am successful, how I am famous. And when you think about the risk that is for a guy who's that advanced in his career, it's hugely admirable. And I really can't say enough about it. There's a whole narrative right now in our industry about like, go see things in the theater. You got to support cinema. Here's the thing, for these like little movies, if it's still in the theaters, please go see it in the theaters. The giant blockbusters, don't go see them unless they're good. If they're bad, don't support it. You don't owe them anything. This is a really good indie. And I can tell you from the standpoint of an independent film producer, it's unbelievably difficult to get financing for independent feature films, even horror films, which are theoretically more marketable. So if you are going to support something with your dollars, this is a really good one to support. And listen, it's tough out there. Everybody's going through a hard time economically. The cost of groceries is freaking astronomical, and my rent is enough to make you cry. And really great films make my life better. They help me through hard times. And this one, gosh, it was like 2 hours of just thinking about nothing but it. What a beautiful thing to give me in a period of time where things are quite difficult. And if you're an actor, which you probably are because you're here and this is an acting channel, it's going to learn you some. So like, listen, going to Harvard is very expensive, but going to the movies is not that expensive, and it's going to teach you a ton of stuff about acting. So go check it out. And if you can't see it in the theaters because the run is probably almost done, VOD's coming soon, and rent it. Pay money to rent it, because these filmmakers will only get another chance to do another movie like this if it turns $1 in profit. $1 in profit, and then all of a sudden the world is their oyster. I think it's close. It may already have. It was made on a pretty low budget, I think $4 million, and I think it's close to $4 million at the box office, but then there's print and advertising spend. So it needs to make some more, so get out there, support it if you can. If I were to give it a rating, I would give this an 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. Yeah, there's very little about it that I would change. To the actors in the movie, to the writer, to the director, to the cinematography, to everybody who worked on it. Bravo. Truly bravo. And yeah, that's that. Go see Strange Darling. And then, go be people.